This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Options Talk 25 between Raghunath and me. Last week we had said that this bull market is definitely alive, and then I had said that we might see some sideways. So of course, a lot of people were disappointed that we could not see 13,000 here, though the people in Singapore saw 13,000. But then that is part of the game. So that maybe because of expiry pressure or let's not sure what, but we had a sudden dip which a lot of people had not expected because they had seen 13,000 Nifty on Singapore the previous evening. But that's what always happens, which I have been tweeting about so many times. And maybe, of course, the bull run is still on. We have still not topped out on the charts. Let's see what the charts suggest. So going straight away to chart, this is the Nifty Bank Nifty chart on point and figure. This is completely right now. It is still bullish, but it is consolidating well above the moving average, and this was a double top buy. So unless this closes below 28,200 on the spot, that is far away right now. So till then, it is just a consolidation. Even on the candlestick chart of Bank Nifty, you can see the same thing. Like there was a big bull run here, then 3 days of consolidation. So similar thing we have. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow onwards. But like I said, as long as 28,300 is held on the spot on terms of in terms of closing, this is just a dip. On the Nifty chart of point and figure, also the same consolidation is visible. Here we had a breakout and then consolidation. This will become weak over the very short term, only on a close below 12,700. And of course, that is a double bottom sell. But then again, we are well above the moving average, so it might be just a consolidation. The moving average also is very far off 12,300. And like everyone knows, 12,430 was the previous all-time high. So 12,300, 12,400, this level will, of course, I can't use the word will, should act as a support if and when we go there, because the previous all-time high might be tested once sometime. No one knows, because that is what everyone has been expecting. From the day it has crossed 12,430, it has not looked back at all, and a lot of people have been on the sidelines expecting a retest of the previous high, and it is already, I think, 2 weeks now, and it has not yet done it. So it will be done only when people are least expecting it. Coming to the chart of VIX, this is the chart of VIX on a weekly basis. Why I have taken weekly basis? Just to show why it is not going down further. The two averages are the 200 moving average, 200 exponential as well as simple. And unfortunately for some, in fact, this is something, Raghunath, I have never understood. I'm not sure whether you are aware. Every day, if you look at the daily candlestick chart of VIX, there are some spike lows which happen in the first 5 minutes. Why is that? I have never been able to figure out.
No, what happens is that, immediately the options are not traded very well. Like within 5 minutes, there is not much liquidity.
Okay.
So because of that lack of liquidity, the IVs, because the VIX is derived from all the IVs of all the option strikes of different expiries. So because of lack of liquidity, the IV calculations go wrong, not wrong, but they're not, very, they don't present a very good sample of liquidity. And
But that happens every day, is it?
yeah,
Every day.
every day at opening it happens like that.
Yeah, because that is the reason I would recommend everyone to look at a line chart of VIX, because the daily chart shows the, if you look at the uh, normal daily chart, candlestick chart, you'll see huge spikes, and it shows as if it has come up quite a lot from the lows, which is not the case actually.
Yeah, this is due to lack of liquidity at that early time point of period.
Okay. So anyway, so looking at the line chart of VIX, you'll see something strange here. Strange in the sense, you'll see why we are subdued. On a daily chart, we are just below the 200 moving averages, exponential as well as simple. And on a weekly chart, we are just above the moving averages. So unless it goes below 18, in fact, I had mentioned 17 last time. So if you see here, the moving average is 17.5. So that 17 was derived from there. Unless we go below 17, or on a daily average, it is well above. Even if you take the green one, that is still 25. So 70 to, in fact, I had mentioned a range of 70 to 24, 25. So only above 25 will there be much higher volatility, or below 17, it will die down. So probably this is because the American elections have still not reached their conclusion. And of course, it is quite strange that after that Bihar was went for voting, the chief minister have been sworn in, all that, and there they are still counting. So anyway, that is something which we don't have control over. So on a weekly chart of VIX, it shows that it is taking support near the 200 moving average. This is important. So as long as it is above 17, you can expect the unexpected in terms of VIX. I had mentioned ITC last week. I had talked about this 190 call. This was the call where I talked about a resistance near 4.5. So from that, it went all the way down to 1.5 on Monday, on 18th. And then again, it spiked up all the way back to 4.5, and it is not breaking that range. I mean, not crossing 5. So once this ITC call crosses 5, there can be big short covering. Big in the sense, I remember ITC had made a high near 207 a few months back. Maybe that might be a target if this call starts trading above 5 consistently. So this is very extremely important. And the same time, since we are closer to expiry, you can keep an eye on the open interest also. Something which I had shared on Twitter. I'll just show it here. Let me quickly open the chart. This is the ITC 200 call on hourly basis, and if I plot the open interest, so this is a huge open interest. I had also mentioned on Twitter that this is something like what we had seen on SBI at the same strike price, and that time SBI had not crossed 200. After that, for few months, and everyone was long in SBI. So you need to keep an eye on the 200 call also. I mean the open interest of the 200 call. So these 190 call near 5 and 200 call open interest. These are the two open interests because this is more than 1 crore. 1 crore is not a joke. It's a huge open interest. I remember even in SBI, it was above 1 crore. There was a small dip on Friday, but it's too early. I mean, if you see the last tick, there was a dip, but it has to start going down sharply, and this call has to cross 2. Only then the option writers will think of covering, and then only might be some action in ITC. So keep a watch on 190 call above 5, and then this open interest of the 200 call. So these are the two strike prices you have to look for. 190 put of ITC has given a complete breakdown, so that there is no weakness seen in the stock in terms of the put. Now coming to Nifty, because unfortunately I was quite surprised this weekend. I went through almost 50-60 stocks to look for something interesting, and there is nothing interesting on any of the stock except ITC. Bharati may be slightly, it might be showing some strength. Axis Bank and ICICI Bank might be showing some weakness, but I couldn't pinpoint any exact levels. So then that's why I decided to look at only the straddle charts of the indices this time. So if you look at the 29,500 Bank Nifty is at 29,200. So we can look at the two straddle charts above and below. So 29,500 straddle is weak definitely. So this can keep going down. The script 1, script 2, which is the call, is 290, put is 647. If the straddle keeps going down, that means the put will take it down, which means it is bullish for Bank Nifty. But if you look at the other chart, which is the Bank Nifty, let me open that. 29,000 straddle, which is a lower strike price. If I make it a 1% chart, this is also weak. And this total is about 880, out of which 523 is the call, 358 is the put. So maybe we might see Bank Nifty range bound maybe between 28,500 and 29,500. Of course, this is a big range. Some might say this is, I mean, 1,000 points is huge, but then that is what Bank Nifty is. I mean, it can move 500 points in no time. So 29,000 and 29,500 straddles, both are looking weak to me. In terms of Nifty, also similar thing. Nifty, the 12,800 straddle is looking weak. In fact, the classic case which I always talk about, the triple moving averages have been trending down sharply, and now they have become flat, which might mean that we might see a big move either above or below. If above, this has to cross 230, 235. It is 204 right now. And you need to keep in mind logically, a move of 30 points on a straddle means there has to be a much bigger move on the either the call on the put. It has to be a move of 50, 60 points on the call or on the put upwards, which means a move of more than 70, 80 points on the Nifty. Only then this straddle will turn upwards. Same case is seen in the 12,900 straddle. This is also weak. In this case, the put is stronger. Exactly the same thing what we saw in Bank Nifty. So all these straddle charts point out to sideways action over the next couple of days. This is my reading based on the straddle charts. And when I say sideways, that means identify a resistance to go short intraday, identify a support to go long intraday. So basically buy on dip and sell on rise. That is what is likely to happen. This is what I'm talking about on the basis of the charts, straddle charts. In terms of individual call and put, 12,900 call has made a top over here near 150, 155, 160. And then it has given a big bearish anchor column naturally on Thursday, which has not yet been crossed. On the lower side, it has support near 40, 50. So these are the levels to look out for. 12,900 put has given an anchor column, bullish anchor column on Thursday. And as long as this low, which is near 80, is held, we might see some weakness in Nifty if this 80 is not breached. So this is how you can look at where index might take a resistance or where index might take a support, and then trade intraday. I don't think we are in for a positional trade for this week, at least for the next couple of days. And if you see the 12,000, 13,000 put of December, why I brought up this was if that weakness had any strength or the weakness which we saw on Thursday, this put would have given a big anchor column, which it has not. There are only 10 boxes in the 3% chart. So overall, this chart is still weak, which is the 13,000 put of 31st December, which is in the money by almost 150 points. Normally, if there is weakness in the index, this kind of in the money put should show good strength. It has not. So as long as this is above 290 and below 400, that again confirms my view of sideways action. So this is another put one can look out for. 12,900 put I've already talked about. Similar action in Bank Nifty. If you see the 29,000 put, we are only now monthly. There is no weekly. The weekly and monthly are the same. Here again, there was a bullish anchor column from 260 to 540. There was some follow through on Friday, but again there was immediate selling because everything recovered on Friday second half. So this low near 250 should be watched out for. So as long as if Bank Nifty 29,000 put is taking support somewhere near 250, you can use your intraday methods to identify support. I mean some candlestick chart or a candle level or something else. And if it is not going below 250, then that means Bank Nifty will be at resistance, and again it will be a sell on rise. Similar thing like the 12,900 call on Nifty, 29,000 call on Bank Nifty has shown topping out big bearish anchor column over here, but again a rise. So this is support is at 300, and here there is a low near 220. So 220 to 300 is a support. So all this points out to sideways actions at least for the next couple of days, and maybe towards expiry we might see action. So the sideways action means 12,700, 750 to 12,950 maximum. So about 200, 250 points is what I am expecting at least for the next couple of days. Yeah, that's all from my side, Raghunath.
Okay, P. I also actually looked at this weighted PCR of this Bank Nifty and Nifty. They are like very extreme. So
Okay.
there is 10 times more premium in the calls compared to in the puts.
Okay.
So there is a huge demand for calls, and people are buying crazy in calls.
So
So
either
this
that
might
means pull
be
down in the
exactly,
index, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
So it kind of indicates that you might see some sideways action unless there is a new all-time high. I think we'll
Correct.
see some sideways action for some time.
So the 13,000 hats have to wait for some time. That is what it means.
Yeah, that's true.
13,000 t-shirts.
And also,
Okay.
US markets are not cooperating. Huh?
Right. They are also sideways.
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe now you have something interesting to show us. So I'll make you the presenter now.
Okay. Thank you. Well, last week we talked about covered calls. It's as a way of reducing the cost basis of the stocks. But now the stocks are at almost most of the stocks are at all-time highs, and there is some kind of FOMO, that is the fear of missing out, has been set in a lot of people, and they are chasing the stocks, and and this is not a good idea to chase stocks at such very high levels. So instead, I was thinking like, is there any way that we can buy at these stocks at somewhere comfortable levels and not chasing the stocks because of fear of missing out. So today we'll look at an option strategy where by which we can buy the stocks at low prices. These are standard disclaimers. So buying stocks at low price, this will allow us to hold it for longer time periods, right? If you buy at very high price, then if there is if the stock falls down, then you already have kind of buyer's remorse that you bought it at very high price. So if you buy at low price, you'll have some kind of staying power of tolerance, even if the stock price falls down. So but not all stocks are available at lower prices. Then how you're going to buy them at low price, right? So that is the question here. So how to buy stocks at low prices? Now, one method was I told was that to do covered calls, where you reduce the cost basis of the stock shares over the time. So even if you buy at all-time high and you keep doing the covered calls on those stocks, you can still reduce the cost over time. That is one way. So the other way here involves buying a stock at reduced cost by selling put options of particular stock. So now this strategy is called cash secured put strategy. So what are the requirements of this strategy? So the margins for put writing is required. So because you are selling the put option at a lower strike price, you need margins for writing that option. And then you need the ability to maintain negative mark to market to market to stay in the trade as required for this strategy, right? If suddenly stock falls down and your put strategies, the short put is showing a lot of negative MTM, you need to maintain that trade. Otherwise, you will have margin call and it could be removed. So you need margin and you also need amount to maintain negative MTM. So once the stock has been chosen, it could be any stock that you might be interested. Again, just like in covered calls, I suggest the stocks which have long-term prospects and which have good legacy, like they have been in stock market for 20-30 years and have good management. So once you chosen a stock,
One more thing,
then
Raghunath.
yeah,
Also liquidity in options on a consistent basis, right?
yes, that's also.
Because what I've seen is there are a lot of stocks which are active in options for the band of the strike price, I mean the current price, and if the let's say the stock moves by 5 or 8%, there is no liquidity at all.
Yeah, that's true.
You should avoid those kind of stocks.
Yeah, I would always stick with large caps, blue chip
Exactly.
stocks. So once you choose your stock, then you have to identify key levels. Now this could be like where there was a previous resistance, a long previous resistance, and then you use that as a support for the next period, next time point, and then use that as your key stock level. Then you have to follow the steps that I'm going to show to buy the stock at low price. So what we have to do is that we sell an out of the money put option. So once you have identified your key level, then you have to write out of the money put option at that key level of that particular strike. So preferably we use a Monday of the last week of expiry, so that we sell the put option of the next expiry on the Monday of the last week of current expiry. So now we have to wait for the stock price to come to the strike price of the put option. So here we chose the out of the money put option, right? So we have to wait till your stock price comes to that particular strike option. If the strike price doesn't go below the strike price of the put option, then keep the option premium received and roll over the put option to next expiry. Okay, so you have identified a particular level and you have written a put option for that particular strike at that level. And if the stock price doesn't go below that, then you just keep the premium and roll over to the next expiry. If the stock price goes below the put option strike, then you immediately cover the put option and buy the stock at that particular price. So that is how you buy at low prices. Now, for example, I want to buy the TCS option, TCS stock at 2400 instead of the current price of 2657. So what I would do here is to sell 2400 put, okay, 2400 put strike, and wait for the stock price to come below this 2400 to buy the TCS option, TCS stock. So the advantage here is that if it doesn't come till the next expiry, you will be able to keep this premium and roll over to next expiry. Same way 2400 put option. And I will show you the mechanics of how and which strikes to select. So imagine that you chose to buy at 2400, but what happens if it goes even further high, 2700, 2800? So how to handle that, I will show you with an example. So the example that I'm going to show to the mechanics of this cash secured put is Reliance. Now imagine that there is a resistance for Reliance at 1600 or 1620. Now imagine that you are some person, you are waiting for some kind of reversal from here, right? But instead it has broken out and went up. But now you feel that you should have bought this stock. Now you feel that you have missed out on this opportunity, right? Now it has already went above 1700. Now you are thinking that okay, I should have bought at 1600, so I will wait for the stock to come at 1600. But what happens is that it keeps going up, right? So in order to avoid, then you feel that you're fearing that you're missing out on this opportunity. So to avoid that fear of missing out or the FOMO, you want to buy at 1600, then you use cash secured put strategy. So here what you do is you sell 1600 put option here and you wait till it comes to 1600 level to buy the Reliance stock. So at the first go, when you initiate this put right strategy, so around 22 June or little later than that, you saw this breakout. So we'll start from that time point. So this is 22 June. This is the Monday of the last week of this expiry, 22 June expiry. So we will sell this 1600 put of the next expiry. So in this case, it will be 30 July. So at that time point, the IVs were very high. So the premiums are very good. So I sold this 1600 put option on 22nd June. Now I keep waiting till it comes to 1600 level. But it didn't come to 1600 level. Instead, it went to 2100 or almost 2200. So now you keep to get all this premium that you got by selling the put option, right? You got around 15,400, around worth about 30 points on Reliance stock, right? Now what you do is that now you roll over this again. So now you cannot roll over at the same strike price 1600 because the stock has moved further, right? So you cannot use the same strike price, you have to move slightly above. So as a rule, if price moves far away from buy price, you sell a 10 to 15 delta put option. So instead of 1600 put, I choose 10 to 15 delta put option on the Monday of the current expiry. And then I sell a put option or 10 to 15 delta put option on Monday, which is 20 July for the next expiry. So this will be 27 August. Okay. So now we have rolled over the put option. Okay. So now we waited for it to come to 1600. It didn't come. So we are still, the stock price is still far above that.
Raghunath, two questions.
Yeah.
See, one thing is you want to buy the Reliance stock at your price, fine. So you must have that 1600 into 5, so about 8 or 9 lakh rupees set aside, right?
Yes. Yes.
Number one. And number two, in this current example, here you have shown 1700 put sold at 20 rupees. Let's say Reliance goes to 1600. There you'll make that put will go to 100. In that case, you will make a loss of 80 rupees in that put.
Yeah, you will make in that loss.
Okay.
But here the reason for choosing the 10 to 15 delta is that there's only 15 to 10 to 15% of chance of that is happening.
Yeah, right.
But you should be ready, for that kind of eventuality.
So basically, it means that instead of 1600, your net buying price will be 1680 because you will make a loss of 80 points in this put.
Yes, 1680 plus also you got 30 points from the previous this thing.
Yeah, of course, right. Yeah.
So
correct.
around 1650.
Correct.
Yeah, but still much better than buying at
2100.
Yeah.
Correct.
So again you get 10,000 bucks. So around 20 points. So you gain around 20 points. So 30 plus 20, 50 points. So you again roll over. So roll over to the next month. So now you sell again 10 to 15 delta because this went even further up. So now 10 to 15 delta is around 1900 put option here for the 24th August expiry. So you get around 17 bucks. So again, we wait it to go down, but it still doesn't go down. So you get to keep all the premium. So it is around worth of 17 points. So again, you get to keep these 17 points. So 50, 20, and 17. So again, you have to roll over for the next month for the October expiry on 21st September, which is the Monday of the current expiry. So now we are choosing 2000 put. Again, it's you have to choose 10 to 15 delta put option here. So around you get 20 bucks. So again, it didn't come down, but it came down little bit. Actually, it came down close to 2000 here. But you are still in profit on the Monday of that current expiry. You still have around gain of 7 points. right? So now here we can further in the next expiry, which will be November expiry. I don't have the data for that expiry, but it would be around maybe around 1900 or 1800 put in this case, I think. So what have we learned here is that a
November
total of
expiry is current expiry, right?
yes for current expiry. In the simulator that data was not there.
Okay.
But I would say you would still be in profit. I would say, even with 1800 put, you would have still gathered some amount of puts for the November expiry.
And
But
let me
I'm
see on the
just
chart.
covering
1800 put sold on when? I'll just plot the chart
uh,
at my end.
on wait on 26th October.
1800 November put sold on 26th October.
Yeah.
1 minute.
It should be around at 7, at least 10 points should be there. My guess.
Yeah, see here the problem is on 26th October, this put was near, let me see, around 20,
Yeah.
right?
So it's good.
But then Reliance crashed in the first week of November. So from 20, this put had gone all the way down to up to 75
Okay. But it didn't go
on
below
3rd
18.
November.
The stock didn't go below 1800, right? Or did it
No,
go?
it went to some 1835 or low, something like that.
Okay. So in that case,
But
that's fine.
the put had gone from 20 to 75 in that period.
Okay. But still, it's comfortable in that sense.
Yeah, of course.
So you would have gathered another 20 points if you waited, to this coming Monday. So it would have been 94.5 points so far in 5 months.
In fact, today it is 16.5. That put, same put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't go below 1800, you would almost gather 20 points, close to 20 points.
So the idea is if Reliance had gone below 1800, you would have covered the put in loss and just
But
sat idle.
yeah, or we can buy actually. We can buy the stock here.
Okay, fine.
So overall till October expiry, we gotten 74.5 points accumulated over 4 months.
Right.
So even if you bought at 1674.5, it's actually equivalent to buying at 1600.
Correct. Yes.
So you keep continuing the rollover till your objective of buying at a lower stock price is achieved. So once the stock reaches the desired level of 1600, you buy the stock in cash. So now this is the ideal scenario. But as as AP said, what happens if this suddenly goes down below 1800s? For example, if I wrote at 1800 and it went below 1800, then we are going with the assumption that I am ready to take that risk to buy at 1800 if it goes below 1800, because you are selling a 10 to 15 delta put option, so you are taking the 10 to 15% risk that it is going to go below that particular level. So you should be ready for that eventuality as well in that case. But if it doesn't go, you keep accumulating the points and you keep waiting till it comes to 1600, right? So time is on your side. So as I said to AP, if you have waited for if you sold 1800 on 26 October at 20 points and you waited till next Monday, I mean you would have still got around 10 points for this expiry. So that is how you accumulate points for this particular strategy and wait by your time to buy at low stock price. So you have
Just
two
a
strategies.
stray question.
Yeah.
Let's say Reliance bottoms out now. I mean, I'm just it's a hypothetical case. I'm not saying it will bottom out, but
Yeah.
it just keep going up 2000, 22,000, 2100, 2200, so you'll never get that 1600 price. Then what?
Yeah. Yeah. That's you have to live with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, so so either you decide that you're not going, you're just going to buy here. That is one way of looking at it. But
Right.
you already know that you are at all-time high valuations, both in terms of the stock as well as in the terms of the market.
Right.
So you are betting that it is going to come at this supporting level at some point, at some time point, or
Right.
you accumulate enough points that at some point you converge somewhere. So let's say you accumulated 200 points by keep doing this method, and
Hmm.
some at some point it came to 1800.
Correct.
So you buy it at 1800, and it's still
Okay.
equivalent to 1600 at that term point.
Right.
So that way, I mean, you avoid this, fear of missing out of this thing.
Yeah,
Because if you miss,
here again, discipline is important because I know just
yeah,
an example. I know someone who started doing this and then panicked when Reliance started coming down because his put went in loss. And then when it started going up, he started increasing this quantity of the puts. That is also risky, right? You must stick to your discipline.
yeah, but here, see, actually, that is a wrong strategy because,
Exactly.
yeah, because you already decided that this is going to be your level, and you are in this stock for a long term.
Correct.
So once it is going down, means it doesn't matter if put is in loss because your stock is also coming down. So your buying price of your stock is also coming down. So
Correct.
don't worry about your put to going into loss because you already pre-decided that you're going to buy at this level. So if it stock goes below that level, it doesn't matter. You simply cover your put option at whatever price that was, and then you buy your stock. So that should be
Yeah,
the
the point is,
discipline.
point is,
Yeah,
these days people are more into short-term trading. So no one looks at long-term. So they, when they see a
yeah,
M2M negative, they start panicking.
yeah. So that's the reason I said that you should be able to withstand that negative MTM in the because you wrote a put option, and you have to have the margin, and you have to have the money to buy the stock.
Correct.
So just imagine, AP, if you somewhere around the Reliance has broken out here,
Yeah.
and you are saying that I am going to buy, before March, I'm saying you are going to buy only at 1300, somewhere at 1300, and you
Hmm.
started writing this strategy. Now if the
Yeah.
stock comes below 1300, then you should be ready to buy at 1300. Otherwise, then you
Correct.
don't have to do this strategy at all.
Yeah.
So this is for only for people who are ready to be there to stay for a long term here.
Yeah. This is a long
Right.
haul. This is not short-term
Yeah.
trading at all.
Yeah. So imagine this that you are a so instead of buying at 1600, you are buying at 1300, right? So you are saving your tragedy of these 300 points because you decided to write this this cash secured put strategy. So that is also working in your favor. So you have to also remember that point and not panic and not buy this and to write more put options. That is even more dangerous. You just cover put option and buy the stock. Simple. Uh, that is all, AP, I think.
Yeah, I think this
Uh,
is brilliant. In fact, just a thought I had. Lot of since that stock has been most talked about in the last few months. ITC. If someone is really interested in buying ITC for the long term, but wants to buy, let's say, at 120 or
160.
130, if at all it comes in, this is a brilliant strategy to do in
Yeah.
ITC, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
now I think 160 is kind of acting as a good support
Correct. Correct.
in
Yeah.
ITC. Yeah. So 130, 160, depending on their appetite. They
Yeah,
can
and that
keep
was that
writing.
March low. 135 was a March low, coronavirus low.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We may not get those levels maybe.
yeah. No one knows. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's a good idea because for those people who think that they have missed out on ITC, then that will be the strategy now to write a
correct,
160 option and wait for the ITC to come to 160.
correct.
Okay,
Okay, fine. That's nothing from my side. That's all.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.